Good morning and welcome back to The Source. We're here bright and early for a special morning episode of The Source. Saturday morning, there's a bunch of college basketball games. I'll be putting one episode out now to go through the early games, then another episode will be out at 4 p.m. to do the late college games and the NBA games. So let's rattle through, let's make some picks, let's go.
Welcome to The Source. Hey, get the source. The source. The source. Hey, get the source.
First game up, Indiana versus Michigan State. This line opened up Indiana minus 6.5. Now the bets came in slightly favoring Indiana, but the money was on Indiana pretty heavily. I think it was 74% of the money as of midnight was on Indiana. The line would move to 6.5, but really nothing changes in this one. Money still heavily favoring Indiana. I'm going to fade the public and take Michigan State here. I think they'll keep this game close, even though Indiana is the better team. Give me Michigan State plus 6.5. Let's lock it in for 1 unit. If anything changes, I'll tweet it out and put it on my Instagram story next game. Next game up is Miami versus Georgia Tech. This line opened Miami plus 3, so the Hurricanes getting points here at home. Now when the books opened this one up, everyone in the world bet Georgia Tech. I think it was 80% of the bets and 96% of the money as of midnight last night in on Georgia Tech. Nothing else would change for the rest of the morning. The money stays pinned all over Georgia Tech. I'm going to fade the public again and take the Hurricanes. Give me Miami plus 3.5 at home. Let's lock it in for 1 unit. If anything changes, I will tweet it out and put it on my Instagram story next game. Next game up, Tennessee versus Kentucky. This line opened up Tennessee minus 7.5, and the early bets came in favoring Tennessee, but look at the early sharp money all over the Kentucky Wildcats here. We do see a line change here. The line moves from 7.5 to 7, and the rest of the morning, the money starts to creep back towards Tennessee. Listen, Tennessee's the much better team that's playing better, but this is a rivalry game, a defensive battle too. Both teams play good defense. I'm going to take the points. Give me Kentucky plus 7 here. Let's lock it in for 1 unit. If anything changes, I'll tweet it out and put it on my Instagram story next game. Next up, Villanova at home against UConn. This line opened Villanova minus 6.5, and early bets did come in favoring Villanova, but there was a ton of UConn Husky sharp money that came in by midnight already. The line never moves from 6.5. But money would come back towards Villanova. Actually, as of 9 a.m., the bets and money are pretty close to even. They're slightly favoring UConn. UConn's got James Bouknight back, man. Their superstar scorer. Give me UConn plus 6.5. I like this one. Let's lock it in for 1 unit. If anything changes, I will tweet it out and put it on my Instagram story next game. All right, next up, we're doing Kansas versus Texas Tech. This line opened Kansas giving 2 points here. Early bets did come in favoring Kansas, but there was actually a little bit of sharp money on the Texas Tech Red Raiders here. This line would drop from 2 down to 1.5, and here comes some Kansas Jayhawks money finally. Money starts moving back towards Kansas. Listen, Kansas is playing way better basketball than Texas Tech right now. This spread is a gift, and this is my pick of the morning. Give me Kansas minus 1.5. Let's lock it in for 1 unit. If anything changes, I will tweet it out and put it on my Instagram story next game. All right, back to the SEC. We got South Carolina versus Missouri. This line opened up South Carolina plus 3.5. Now you see the first numbers, a lot of early bets in on South Carolina, but look at the money. Look how weird those early bet numbers are. 93% of the bets on South Carolina, but like a ton of money on Missouri. That's a complete... That almost looks fake. This one would get really weird. The money stays pinned on Missouri, right? Pinned. In fact, even more Missouri money comes in, but there's no line movement. Where we at 92, 93% of the money in on Missouri all morning and no line movement. This looks like a trap, man. This looks exactly like a trap. Here's the thing though, Missouri is the right play here. Jeremiah Tillman is back from injury. I can't fade him. Even though this looks, if this is a trap, I'm walking right into it. Give me Missouri minus 3.5. Let's lock it in for 1 unit. That one may come back and bite me because it looks like a trap, but I feel Missouri's the right play here. If anything changes, I will tweet it out and put it on my Instagram story next game. Next game up is Texas versus West Virginia. Big game here. This line opened up Texas minus 3.5. And actually the early bets and money came in split right down the middle. Money slightly favoring West Virginia. Some more West Virginia money would come in the rest of the morning. And as of 9 a.m., I believe it's 81% of money in on the West Virginia Mountaineers. But No line movement. I like West Virginia a lot. In fact, I've won a lot of money on West Virginia this year, but I feel like this is the perfect spot to fade them in. I'm going to take Texas. I'm going to light 3.5 points at home. Give me Texas minus 3.5. Let's lock it in for 1 unit. If anything changes, I will tweet it out and put it on my Instagram story. Next game up, Auburn on the road at LSU. This line opened up LSU minus 4.5. Now the early bets actually were favoring LSU, but sharp money all over Auburn. For the rest of the morning, there's really no significant changes in the money here. The line bounces back and forth between 4 and 4.5, and it seems like it's still doing that, but money stays pretty even. Listen, this game is a toss-up. If you're a casual bettor or you're only betting 3 or 4 games, I would leave this one off. I'm gonna take Auburn here because I'm a big fan of Sharif Cooper. That kid could go off at any second. So I'm gonna take Auburn plus 4.5. I'm gonna lock it in for 1 unit. If anything changes, I will tweet it out and put it on my Instagram story. Parlay of the day. I'm actually gonna call this one Parlay of the morning because I'm putting out another episode at 4 p.m. and that will have a different parlay. So Parlay of the morning is UConn. I'm gonna tease it up to plus 3.5. Kansas minus 1.5. Those two, the payout is plus 377. I know that's not the best payout, but I like this one though. I might put 2 units on it, we'll see. So that's the parlay. Those are the picks of the morning. Make sure you come back and check out 4 p.m.'s episode. Hopefully we'll be up 6 or 7 units by that time. I'll see you all back at 4 p.m. Let's have some fun and make some money.